Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Rapid Recap here at Inside Nebraska. We're at Folsom Field. He's Steve Marik, I'm Zack Carpenter, and coming to you not long after 36-14 loss. Nebraska fell to Colorado, number 22 in the country, and it's the 22nd straight loss against a ranked opponent. Just another game of Nebraska pointing the pistol at its own foot and squeezing the trigger multiple times. They just keep giving games away because all the mistakes that Nebraska had in this game, I mean, that was their undoing yet again.
I mean, after the game, Matt Rule said it himself. It was the same story as last week at Minnesota. Just a lot of mistakes, a lot of errors. They're not going away. The team had a full week. They had more days off than Colorado did, but the Huskers just did the exact same thing, and they hurt themselves over and over. And now we have a quarterback issue officially at Nebraska. I mean, many people, and I don't blame them for that. They thought there was a quarterback issue after the Minnesota loss with Jeff Sims and how poor he played, especially in the passing game. We know what he can do as a runner, but to win in the Big Ten, you need to attack through the air and be efficient through the air. Jeff Sims is not that, and just today against the Buffaloes, a defense that struggled mightily against TCU's offense, Sims dropped 2 snaps
that were right here. I mean, it was like they're at his waist,
so it's not
a
snap problem. It was not a Ben Scott snap problem. He dropped 2 snaps. He threw a really bad interception that Shadur Sanders took and threw on the very next possession very next play for the Buffaloes, a touchdown. It was just a terrible, terrible game, really, from Jeff Sims. And now I'm just left wondering who's going to be the quarterback at Northern Illinois. Is this fixable? Is Jeff Sims fixable? I don't know, because he is who he is right now. He showed exactly who he is at Georgia Tech, and everyone's. I'm wondering if that's going to get better. Right now, it doesn't look like it's going to get better, and there's an entire season left.
Yeah, he had 2 fumbled snaps, lost fumbles, the interception, and then third fumble that, whether it's credited to him or Gabe Ervin, who knows, but yet again, another giveaway. He had the 57-yard touchdown run, which was explosive. It was like, okay.
Yeah.
It was like we saw the good Jeff Sims right there, and for a moment you're thinking, okay, maybe that will be some sort of turning point, confidence builder for him to start gaining some momentum, gaining some traction, maybe some comfort, and then that just did not happen the rest of the game.
That touchdown run cut it to a 1-score game, I believe.
13-7 with in the third quarter.
The whole second half left. But then at that point, I think Colorado started getting in a rhythm offensively. Yeah. Nebraska's defense was on the field a lot. They got worn out, just like TCU's defense got worn out. So, I don't think this is a Nebraska defense problem at all. This is a Jeff Sims problem. This is a Marcus Satterfield problem. There's just a lot of questions right now, and it's not looking good for the Huskers right now because, let's be honest, they got embarrassed. They got their ass kicked on national TV, on Fox, with everybody here, a crazy crowd. The atmosphere in Boulder was electric. This game, these fans were just all about this game. They came and showed up for Colorado. It was not like 2019 when Nebraska basically had this place packed. The Folsom Field was full of red. It was not that at all. They had a little bit of sliver of a red over in the northwest corner, I think it was. But outside of that, it was black and gold all around here. And boy, Nebraska just did not look good today. And everybody's just kind of wondering. There's a lot of questions going to be asked this upcoming week.
And I want to get to the defense and some more stuff about sort of the atmosphere of the game. But the last point on Jeff Sims is we both talked about how bad the game was during the action, obviously, and my mind just kept going back to in the summer or in the spring, right after Casey Thompson transferred. We talked about it, and I went on record multiple times that there were 3 different decisions that Rule made. He seemed to be pushing all the right buttons in the offseason with laying the foundation, reaching out to the fans, building community presence, recruiting, all of that. And then there are 3 decisions that I questioned personally. It was more of I questioned it because I just simply don't understand it. What was the rationale behind that decision? 2 of them, after hearing the explanations from Rule, it was totally understandable. I totally understand that, and I actually think I agree with you. That will work. And I was retaining Donnie Raiola as the offensive line coach and hiring Garrett McGuire, such a young receivers coach. And I think that both of those, it's like, okay, see that working. And what I didn't, and this was no like criticism of Jeff Sims necessarily, but the third one was when Casey Thompson transferred out after the spring was over. He didn't go through spring ball, and he wanted to stay here and compete in fall camp for QB1. That was the goal for so long, and then that didn't happen.
And then there was no
between the lines
competition at all.
There was no competition. Yeah. There was not going to be a competition in fall camp, not true competition. It was going to be a clear-cut Sims 1, Casey Thompson 2. He transfers to Florida Atlantic. He balls out in his first game, and I think Jeff Sims has maybe the same amount of turnovers so far as Casey Thompson has passing touchdowns through 2 weeks. We'll wait and see what FAU's game is, but we're seeing the brunt of that. We're seeing the fallout from that decision, but you have 2 get-right games in Northern Illinois and Louisiana Tech coming up if Sims is healthy, which it sounded like he was after the game. But back to the defense, like you said, the defense came to play. Oh, yeah. The offense, like you said, was not ready for the moment. Sims wasn't ready for the moment. The defense was. The defense came out here and it played its ass off. Like the Colorado scored their first field goal of the first half after Sims second fumbled snapped. They scored that field goal on a 3-and-out. Yeah. And then Sims put him in a bad position again with the interception, and then the defense was put in a not a great situation with Colorado getting the ball at their own 37-yard line, so shorter field after Brian Buschini had a 30-yard punt, which there were so many mistakes in this game. Even 4 turnovers, 4 penalties in the first half, drop passes, missed opportunities, just mistakes, miscues, and even it was bad enough that even Tristan Alvano, like the state champion kicker and reliable kicker, Brian Buschini, all Big Ten level punter, is going to be an NFL guy someday. Even those 2 guys
shanked a punt today.
Yeah,
it's just things like that were happening, and it's not. Again, I said it before. It's not good. Today is not good. I don't know. Husker fans are probably drinking depressed in Boulder right now. Hope there's not a lot of fights going on, because Colorado fans are going to be talking their mouths off, and they deserve it because they have a really good football team, I think. This offense is electric. They have a quarterback who's like a Heisman Trophy candidate right now. Shedeur Sanders is a stud. He is a stud. He showed it at FCS. Everybody was wondering if he could do it in the FBS. He's doing it right now. So I don't know. This just goes back to Nebraska, Jeff Sims, its offense, Marcus Satterfield. Everything is just not clicking on the offensive side of the ball. It's not a defensive problem. Tony White has these guys playing hard. It's a good defense, but just can't get past this offense. When Rule talked about Jeff Sims and he mentioned how NFL scouts were like, hey, look out for this guy. He's a really good quarterback. And then Jeff Collins, who a very good friend of Matt Rule, former Georgia Tech head coach, said, hey, Jeff Sims, really good quarterback. Well, Jeff Collins wasn't a very good head coach at Georgia Tech. So I don't know what prompted, I guess, Matt Rule to bring in Jeff Sims and just be so adamant that this is the guy. When a guy like Casey Thompson is on the roster, he's clearly a better passer, understands reading coverages. I don't know. I'm just at a loss for words. I can keep rambling about this, but Nebraska has a quarterback problem right now.
And we talked enough about that. The one last point I wanted to say is when we did our bold predictions video, we all talked about the ways this game could go. I think everybody knew the 2 different styles the teams wanted to play. Yeah. And I said I could see Nebraska getting its doors blown off and the game being over at halftime, or as the second most realistic, most likely outcome that I thought would be Nebraska does set the tempo, it does implement its ball control, ground and pound type style, and we have a game in the second half. And I felt like both of those things happened because
they did,
because Nebraska did implement its style throughout the first half, and honestly up until it was about 13-7, and then Colorado took off. They did implement their style, but again, crucial penalties, crucial turnovers at the worst possible times for this Nebraska offense. So if they played their style, it went on offense from a game script perspective, how I think they would have envisioned it wanting to go, and it still in the end was not good enough because of that ball control or ball security issues that we saw pop up in Minnesota. I know you want to get out of here. You want to get up to the press box. I think I do too. Get out of the sun. So Nebraska 0-2 2 straight national spotlight games that they've opened the season with, and 2 straight times where they fell on their face and did it very fast.
The butt of the joke nationally, yet again, for the 2nd straight week. That's just a hill Matt Rule is going to have to climb for his tenure here, getting off to a slow start, 0-2. And now in comes Northern Illinois, who knocked off Boston College on the road a couple weekends ago. I don't want to say it's going to be an easy win because I don't really know that anymore. So.
Even coming into the season, I didn't think that Northern Illinois or Louisiana Tech were gimmies. I don't think this Nebraska program has earned the right to believe that any game is a gimme.
Just like Matt Rule said at Big Ten Media Days, he wants to start earning the right to be respected, earning respect back. Definitely didn't happen today.
Hasn't happened the last 2 weeks, and we'll have more from this game in the fallout, which it is a lot of doom and gloom right now, but I think we're being pretty harsh but fair. I think that's sort of my I feel like we're doing, because it's not a lot of good vibes going right now in the immediate future. But we'll be covering more from this game at InsideNebraska.com and on the Inside Nebraska YouTube channel. So like and subscribe. Like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel feed, and we'll be back here with more in the coming weeks and days. So for Steve Marik, I'm Zack Carpenter, and we'll catch you guys again next time.